Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Piercy. I'm going to be working with your students this year in math. The subjects that I'm going to be teaching are going to be college algebra, GT geometry, and pre-AP geometry. Now I'd like to apologize for not being able to be here in person to see you, but I had prior appointments scheduled long before I knew that the 20th was going to be Meet the Teacher night essentially. So I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of information on things that your students will need for class, and hopefully, if all the technology works right, give you a little brief tour of what my classroom looks like. First, for the geometry kiddos, y'all are going to need a protractor to use in class, a compass of some kind. This is my favorite one here. Also, we're going to need, let's come over here, see, hey, see, it works, technology, love it. I recommend that the kids in geometry just have some kind of a pouch where they can keep things in, maybe have some colored pencils or markers or highlighters with them. I also recommend for the geometry guys to have a binder of some kind with dividers in it, so that way they can keep track of all of their notes, homework assignments, and returned papers like quizzes and tests. For my college algebra kids, let's take a walk this way, see if it'll keep going. Yay! Ha! So, for my college algebra kids, we really don't need a whole lot. Something like this would work fine. It's just a spiral notebook that has some dividers in it and pockets. We're going to be doing a lot of notes in class, so this will be fine for college algebra kids. As far as calculators are concerned, pretty much everybody in class is going to be using one of these Texas Instrument calculators, and the reason why is because college algebra, the classes don't let us use a graphing calculator, and in geometry, graphing calculators are actually very rarely used. Now, if you do want to get a graphing calculator for the geometry students, there's what the Inspire calculator looks like. That's what they probably used in algebra. The only time that geometry students really need to have a calculator outside of class, and any calculator, even a lot of the ones with the apps on their phone, as long as it has the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios on it for when they do trigonometry, then they should be pretty good. Otherwise, everything that they need is going to be here with them in class. So parents, a lot of the questions that I get from parents is, how can I get in touch with you? What are tutoring times? So my website has a lot of really useful information, not just for parents, but for students also. You may or may not be able to see it here, but here's just my home page. Has the schedule and tutoring times here. There's a link here for the geometry students in pre-AP to access their online textbook. For students in college algebra, there is a couple of links here talking about how you can get a credit by exam to test out of the class and get your credit for college at the end of the year. Parents, I'm going to do my best this year to keep up with my calendar. So there's a lot of useful information here as far as when things are coming up, what assignments are due, when tests are there, and I've even done my best to keep links here so you can click on the calendar and have it give you a link to download the notes or the worksheet or something that goes with it. So there's that. It has one for each class. Okay, and I'm also doing a couple of things. College algebra is already done. It has the entire curriculum here as a video. Let me see here. So essentially what you're seeing here on this page, these are all of the concepts that are going to be studied in college algebra for the first quarter of the school year. I am teaching also an independent study course for middle schoolers that are in geometry, and they're kind of doing this independently at their middle school campuses. So I'm also making a lot of lessons for geometry as well. So pretty much anything that we're seeing in the pre-AP classes, you'll be able to see here. Now for the geometry, the pre-AP kiddos, they're a little bit different. We're going a little more old school. They're still primarily we're going to be working out of their textbook. This is what the geometry pre-AP or GT kids are going to be working with. This is what the college algebra textbook looks like, in case you ever need it or want it. We don't have enough of these to issue one to every student. They are purchased with department money instead of school textbook money. So we don't have enough to loan one out to every student the way some other textbooks are. But they are available if anybody needs one to check them out. So let me see if we can kind of take a tour of the room here. When kids come in, this is over here where they're going to have pretty much their information for the day. It's on a rotating cycle here, so that way what we do on one day will stay up there for the entire week. So say today is Friday, if a kid was absent today, they can look on the board here when they come into school on Monday and say, oh, well, it's still there. So these are where the kids will come in and see daily information for them. Calculators, this is where kids are going to be coming in to get their material. So let's see if we can kind of walk around the rest of the room. You know, do my best to try and spruce the place up a little bit. I am a guy, so I'm not much in the way of decorating. That, and I'm a math guy, so go figure. I'm not really going to be too much in the way of decorating. You know, this is where your kids are going to do all their heavy thinking, and believe me, they are going to be doing a lot of thinking in class this year. This is where I do most of my thinking. You know, my little corner of the school where I do a lot of my work. And back. So that's pretty much it as far as things that I usually talk to parents about on Meet the Teacher Night. And again, I apologize I wasn't able to be here in person to see you. Ooh, that came out of nowhere. Sorry. But if you have any questions about anything that you've experienced so far or things you're just curious about, by all means, my door is always open. The best way to contact me is through email. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And, you know, sorry I missed you guys, but I look forward to working with your kids this year. And until then, until I get to talk to you guys more individually face to face, thanks for coming. Have a good night.